Everyone, please check your audio and video settings, please. Please respond, guys. Yes, boss. Yesterday we have discussed the monolithic architecture, guys. Tell me, what do you mean by monolithic architecture? Tell me, what do you mean by monolithic architecture? All services and modules will be kept in a single WAR file or jar file and will be released to the project. Right, boss? Monolithic architecture, right? Can we take multiple instances in monolithic architecture? Yes. What do you mean by service instance or application instance or instance? Each copy of deployed monolithic architecture application is called one instance, right, boss? Okay. Multiple copies of same application deployed in multiple servers of same mission or different mission comes under what? Creating multiple instances or not? Okay. So far, listen guys, so far knowingly, unknowingly, what is the architecture we have used to develop the Spring applications or Spring Boot applications? What is the architecture that we have used to develop the Spring applications or Spring Boot applications? Monolithic architecture or not? Super. Yeah, at the end we have seen the advantages and disadvantages of monolithic architecture based application development, right, boss? Pros: provides a simple and easy environment to develop projects application as layered application, having layers like presentation layer, controller layer, service layer, persistence layer, integration layer, and etc. Okay. Most of the current maintenance projects are monolithic projects. Super. Easy to deploy, altogether single jar or WAR file. Easy to manage, single WAR or jar file. Easy to scale, increasing or decreasing instances. Since all are in single place, performing unit testing is easy. Okay, less possibility of getting network related issues. Why? All layers, all modules of the project are there together, right, boss? Performing logging and debugging is easy because all layers and all modules are together, right, boss? Cons. Cons means constraints. When I say cons, it's all about constraints, boss. For small and tiny changes in one or two services or modules or layer, we need to redeploy the application by alerting the end user when application is in production. Application will not work for many hours. Will not work for many of these hours. Right now, boss? Why, sir? Because all layers together, na? All layers are tightly coupled. If you want to disturb one layer logic, we have to make sure that other layers also not running, boss. One bug or issue in one module or service of the project or application may affect other services or modules. This indicates these applications are not reliable. This indicates these applications are not reliable. Understanding my statement? Reliability is also very, very important. Everyone understanding my statement, guys? Come on. Super, boss. I will give in today's document. Yesterday I have given few limitations. Today I am trying to give more and more limitations. Clear, boss? Yesterday I have given only 2 limitations. Yeah, next one, guys. Adding new technologies or concepts or frameworks in the existing project in the existing project as part of enhancement is very complex. As part of enhancement is very complex. Sometimes we will be forced to redesign the project. Are you listening my statement, boss? Sometimes we will be forced to redesign the project, guys. That means overall maintenance and enhancement is very complex or not? The maintenance and enhancement is very, very complex or not? I want reply from you people. If number of modules or services are increased in the project, then their maintenance towards bug fixing and redeployment also takes a lot of time. And their maintenance towards bug fixing and redeployment also takes lots of time while working with web server or application server. Listen guys, if size is increased, services are increased in the project, their maintenance towards bug fixing and redeployment also takes a lot of time while working with web server or application server. This may cause increasing application or project downtime. Yes or no, boss? Because first of all, to identify where the bug related code is there, that takes a lot of time. Then we have to fix it. In this whole time, application will be in the downtime. Yes or no, na? Application will be in the down mode, guys. Come on, come on. I hope you are understanding. So this may cause increasing application or project downtime. Super. Next, we cannot sell certain service or modules of one project to clients as they need. Someone liked only billing module of Flipkart, but that Flipkart application is developed based on monolithic architecture. Can you give only billing module to someone, guys? Is it there as a separate service or separate WAR file or separate jar file? No, it is part of the other modules now. It is there along with other modules. Can we sell? Can we give certain modules, certain service separated to clients? Is it possible, guys? Is it possible, guys? Is it really possible, guys? So definitely not possible. Since we cannot create service instances, we can create service instances only for entire application, not for certain services or modules of the project. Lots of memory and CPU wastage will be there. Lots of memory and CPU wastage will be there as shown below. This diagram is very, very important. I want you people to focus like anything. I want you people to focus like anything. Application means project, service means module. Let us assume like this for the time being. Application means project, service means module. Monolithic project or application, which is a Flipkart. Search service, how much memory it is consuming? 20 MB, 20 MB, 20 MB, 20 MB. Return and replacement service 20 MB. Rewards 20 MB. Tracking service 20 MB. Order service 20 MB. Can you count and tell me total how many modules are there? 6 modules are there. What is the each module size, guys? 20 MB. What is the size of total project, guys? 120 MB. What is the size of total project, guys? 120 MB. Now all of them are packed to WAR file now, boss. All of them are packed to what? WAR file. Now try to understand the problem part. First, try to understand the problem part. Okay, where are jar, boss? Where are jar? In Spring Boot environment, jar is also possible. If it is outside Spring Boot, definitely where only. Only where possibility is there, right? Okay. So total 120 MB size project is packed to verify. Yes or no? Na? Okay, now listen carefully. Listen. I created, since a lot of demand is there for Flipkart, I created service instances, boss. I created service instances for entire Flipkart project. How many service instances I created? Service instances are created for project or application by doing horizontal scaling. Please focus. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Total, how many service instances are created, guys? Total, how many service instances are created? 4 service instances are created. Yes or no? Na? Total, how many service instances are created? Yes or no? Na? Yeah, request capacity of each service instance is what? 250. It can take 250 requests at a time. 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 But these are getting requests like this. Okay, boss. Listen carefully. 50 requests to cart service, 50 requests to search service. This instance is getting 100 requests to search service, 100 requests to order service. This instance is getting 50 requests to cart service, 50 requests to search service. This instance is getting 100 requests to cart service, 50 requests to tracking service, another 40 requests to search service, another 40 requests to search service. What is the problem, What's the problem, Though it is getting more requests to 2 modules, but memory is allocated for entire project now, boss. Though it is getting requests for 2 modules or 2 services, and memory is allocated for entire project now, boss. Are you listening my statement, guys? What is the total size of all the instances together, guys? 4 into 120. What is that? 4 into 120. How much, guys? 480, right? Total project info. All instances together. 480 MB. Yes or no? Na? But currently, how many requests are coming all together? 100, 300, 400, 500, 590. Total, how many requests are coming? 590 requests are coming. Yes or no? Na? 590 requests are coming. What is the maximum capacity of this request, guys? What's the maximum capacity all instances together can handle? All instances together can handle how much maximum request? Each instance 250. All together 1000 or not? 4 into 250 was 4 into 250. Here how does we got this much? 4 into 120 MB. 4 into 120 MB. Everyone getting my point there or not? This is the total project now, but I have one complaint. What is the complaint, What is the complaint, In this 120 MB, are we using total 120 MB services? No, na. We are using only 40 MB services. Here also 40 MB services. Here also 40 MB services. Here what? 80 MB services. But memory is allocated for entire project or not? Because we are able to create instance only for project, not for the module, not for the service, not for the service. What do you say, boss? I hope you understood the limitation. I hope you are understood the limitation. Okay. 1 minute. What is the note I should give? Since we are creating, okay, we are creating service instances for the total project or application, project or application, application, project or application, we are wasting the memory. We are wasting the memory in each service instance. Though we are not using some services of each service instance. Though we are not using some services of each service instance. Yes or no, na, boss? Let us assume, I'm not saying this will happen, boss. Let us assume. Are you listening my statement? Are you listening my statement? And in practicals also, practically also, some services will be used very lessly, boss. How many of you use rewards every time? How many of you use return and replacement service every time? Very less time they will be used now, boss. Will be there, but very less number of requests will be there, right, boss? This is the problem towards creating service instances for entire project. Service instances for entire project, right, boss? Let us assume we are able to create separate project or application for every service module. We are able to create separate project or application for every service or module. Total how many services are there? 6 services. For every service or every module is taken as a separate WAR file. We are able. Let us assume we have that possibility. We have that possibility. Search service, separate WAR file 20 MB. Order service, separate WAR file 20 MB. Like this, total 6 services, 6 WAR files, separate 20 MB. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Different services of Flipkart are developed as different projects, nothing but WAR files. Different WAR. Okay, now concentrate. Now tell me, guys. Tell me, guys. Cart service is getting how many requests, guys? Altogether, 50. Yeah. Cart service is getting 100 requests, boss. Yes, na? Search service, 150, 200, 240. Yes or no, na, boss? Yeah. No, so what I do, guys, I think more demand is there for search service and cart service. Less demand is there for remaining services. Yes or no, na? So I will try to create more instances for what? cart and search service, and less instances for what remaining services. Like the I can minimize the memory wastage and CPU time wastage or not. Like that I can minimize the memory wastage and CPU time wastage or not. Say something, my dear. Think in that angle. Think in that angle. Provide what they want. Don't provide unnecessarily what they want. Don't provide unnecessarily what they want. Uh, Request capacity of each service instance is 250. Now listen carefully. How many search service instances are taken, boss? Search service instance, one, two, three, three instances. Order service, two instances. Cart service, two instances. Tracking, only one instance. Return and reverse, RR service. What is that? Return and replacement, one instance. Rewards, only one instance. Rewards, only one instance. Where more demand is there, more instances. Less demand is there, less instances. According to the need, I am able to create more instance for each service or not. More instance for each service or not. Come on, my dear. What's the size of each instance? 20 MB. Total, how many instances are created as needed? 3, 5. 3, 5. 10 instances. 10 into 20, how much? 120 MB. But taking less memory or not? Compared to creating instances for whole project, it is taking less memory. Yes or no? Na? But giving more better service or not? Giving more better service. Look at the number of requests they are handling. 100, 200, 250, 100. So better service it is giving. It is handling more requests. Yes or no? Na? And it has got more request handling capacity also. Check it out. Total project instance info, all service instances together. Size of the project, total how many instances, guys? 10. 10 into 20 MB, 200 MB, right? 10 into 20 MB, 200 MB. I did wrong calculation. 200 MB, right, boss? Super. But current number of requests, if I sum all these requests that are currently it is handling, 870 requests. Max capacity of request. Total how many instances are there? 10 are there. Each instance 250. Total capacity is 250 into 10. 2500. See, memory is 200 MB. Number of current requests are 870. Total request it can handle is 2500. Earlier, memory is 480 MB. Number of requests currently handling is 590. Total request it can handle is 1000 only. More memory, less effect. Less effect. Less memory, more effect. I think you enjoyed this analyzation. I think you thoroughly enjoyed this analyzation, right? Array, if I prepare background, it will be resistant, right? Like anything. Are you listening my statement? At least you realized the importance of taking services as the projects, modules as the separate projects. Forget about remaining benefits, Babu. At least you understood why we should not take all services together as a single project. We should take every service as a separate project. Come on, guys. You felt the importance of it or not? I think no one explains more technically like this, boss. Gangadhar B, who asked to deploy every service in a separate port number? What's the problem if you deploy all services in same port number or same server? Why are you worrying about infrastructure issues, Rav? Don't worry about infrastructure issues. I hope you realized the importance, boss. You thoroughly understood the importance, boss, everyone. Easy, boss. Advantage of creating hey, different different instances, different instances of different modules can be there in same server, na? Different instances of same module should be there in different servers, right? Think logically. Can't we keep service instance, such service instance and COT service instance in the same server? Is there any problem? We may try to keep what? Two search service instances on two different servers, right? Or two different machines. Okay, let it be, boss. Different services of Flipkart are developed as different projects are verified. This kind of application development in monolithic architecture is possible, but very complex to implement and manage. To overcome this problem, we have got microservice architecture. I'm not saying microservice monolithic does not support this kind of thing. We can do in monolithic also. But problem, what you know, lot of complexity, lot of heaviness will be there. To simplify this process of taking every service as a separate project, we have got one better architecture called what? Microservice architecture. Everyone got it, guys? Everyone understanding my statement? Everyone understanding my statement, guys? Okay, I think you got the thorough knowledge of disadvantages, boss. Disadvantages. Yesterday we were given only few disadvantages. Today, all disadvantages are given or not given. Disadvantages, boss. Disadvantages. Horizontal scaling on projects, horizontal scaling on modules. By taking every module as a separate application. With less memory, we will get more load factor. That's the beauty of if you do horizontal scaling on modules by taking every module as a separate project. By taking every module as the separate project. Understanding my statement, boss? Super, boss. With this monolithic architecture is completed, Raghav. So now we have to move to where, guys? SOA, service-oriented architecture. What architecture? Service-oriented architecture. After monolithic architecture, immediately microservice architecture has not come, Raghav. SOA architecture has come. Service-oriented architecture has come. Are you listening my statement, guys? SOAP-based web services fall under service-oriented architecture. Microservice architecture is based on RESTful web services. So the what is the architecture of microservice, guys? It is consumer and producer architecture. Consumer and producer architecture. Understanding my statement? Okay. In spring, we are going to experience two architectures only. I made you to experience only two architectures. One is, in fact, three architectures. One is monolithic architecture. Number two is what? Consumer and producer architecture in Spring REST application. And as enhancement of that architecture, microservice architecture. Microservice. We have not experienced SOA seriously. Only SOAP-based web services are using SOA. We have not spent time on SOAP-based web services. Clear, guys? Come on, come on. While learning Spring and Spring Boot, MVC with monolithic architecture we have studied. In Spring REST classes, consumer and producer architecture we studied. In microservice architecture, as extension of consumer and producer architecture, we are going to see microservice architecture. Total 3 architecture we have experienced. MVC's architecture is also monolithic architecture, boss. Super, boss. Now listen. SOAP-based web services fall under SOA, service-oriented. RESTful web service fall under producer-consumer mechanism. Note, microservice architecture is enhancement of producer-consumer mechanism where we develop each microservice as a RESTful application. Each microservice as a RESTful application. What is the link between web service and microservice? Microservices are extension of web services, especially RESTful web services. In fact, each microservice will be developed as one RESTful web service, adding other facilities. Understanding my statement, guys? I will add one more point on the top of it, guys. Okay. Microservice architecture says develop every service as one RESTful service or API and integrate them using various tools and design patterns. Okay, tools and design patterns. Okay, tools and design pattern. Tools and design patterns of microservice architecture. Of microservices. See, guys, service development is normal RESTful application. Then what is the specialty of microservice? The way you communicate them, the way you apply some load balance. For that one, lot of tools and design patterns of microservice comes into picture. Otherwise, learning microservices is nothing but learning RESTful web services. Come on, guys. But as part of their intra-communication, as part of service instances creation, while doing load balancing, while searching and finding and services, while doing debugging across the multiple services, logging across the multiple services, lot of design patterns, lot of tools comes into picture as supplied by microservice architecture. Because of this tools and design pattern, it has become little enhancement of RESTful web services. Otherwise, microservice architecture is more of RESTful web services. At least now you realized why I taught RESTful web services before teaching microservices. Are you listening my statement? Okay. Listen, guys. Wherever possibility is there, I will introduce microservice design patterns. Clear? Wherever possibility is there, I will introduce microservice design pattern. But still, Okay, there is a separate course called microservice design pattern to learn end-to-end of design pattern. In this course also we cover wherever possibility is there, I will introduce the design. Got it? Super. Yes, boss. Now listen. Monolithic versus SOA versus microservice architecture. Okay, boss. Monolithic versus SOA versus microservice architecture. I think already we spent time on monolithic, boss. We are working out the slot availability to start Hibernate design pattern. Actually, I thought they will give in 5:30 p.m. slot. I mean to say 6 p.m. slot. Somehow they have given priority to other batch. Somehow they have given priority to other batch. Monolithic versus SOA versus microservice architecture was. SOA, service-oriented architecture was. SOA, service-oriented architecture. Super. This architecture is given. This architecture is given to get communication between two applications. Application that, that are developed application that are developed in two different technologies and running from two different machines using resistor and discovery concepts. Resistor and discovery concepts. I hope you remember triangle related to SOA architecture. Triangle related to SOA architecture. I think we discussed this one in the launch of distributed applications, right? SOAP-based web services like JAX, WS, Axis, Apache, CFX, and etc. And etc. CZA links are given. CZA links are given as the implementation models of SOA design. SOA design. One implementation of SOAP-based web service is one implementation of SOA design is SOAP-based web services. Another is CZA link. Not only these guys, we have web methods, TIPCO, come on. We have other architectures also, web methods. Did you heard about these two names, guys? TIPCO and etc. are given as the implementation models of SOA. As the implementation models of SOA. Understanding my statement was 1 minute. If you are not believing me, okay. About TIPCO. About TIPCO. Hey, in Java, in web services, SOAP-based web service boss. We have other tools, other environments to implement what? About TIPCO software. TIPCO software. Brief history I don't want. Oh, TIPCO in Wikipedia, na? Okay. TIPCO in Wikipedia. TIPCO software, American business intelligence software company found in this. It's giving service. It's talking about company name, Rabab. It's talking about company name, but there is a software called TIPCO. They are talking about company details, Rabab. Okay. I think someone used the company name for a other reason. TIPCO. TIPCO tool. TIPCO tool in TIPCO tool. About TIPCO tool. No, it's giving information about TIPCO company. Someone created company called what is TIPCO, where we need to use it. Okay, let it be. It is not showing it was. Listen, guys, here we got it. Here we got it. Check it out. Here we got it. We can say TIPCO is a middleware. However, there are some presentation layer components exist within TIPCO. It is an enterprise application integration which promotes service-oriented architecture. Clear, guys? The major portion of its implementation is done in Java. It is majorly developed in Java, boss. It's majorly developed in Java. Super. Like this, we have a lot of tools to implement what? SOA design, boss. Okay. In web services, SOAP-based web services are based on SOA. Everyone understanding? SOA is design that provides certain architecture with principles to get communication between two incompatible applications. SOA design is given to get interaction between two incompatible applications. Array, client can be there in what? Consumer can be there in what? Java. Producer can be there in .NET. Producer can be there in Java. Consumer can be there in what? iOS. Recollect. Web service basic meaning is that only na, boss. What is the basic fundamental meaning of web service? To get a communication between two applications that may be on same platform, that may belongs to different platforms. Which may belongs to same platform, which may belongs to different platforms. I hope you remembered it. Yeah, three components of SOA. Service producer, service consumer, service registry. Service provider, service consumer, service registry. Look at the number. Service provider will publish the code in service registry. Will publish the code in service registry. Clear, boss? Yes, boss. Tell me. Service provider will publish the things into service registry. What do you say, boss? Will publish the things into service registry. Super. Okay. The service consumer client application, Rababu, will contact the service registry and gets the XML file. Oh, what is that XML file, guys? The WSDL document, na, boss? WSDL document, right? We'll get the WSDL document having details about the service that is being published. And using that, it will develop the code. Using that, it will develop the code to communicate and invoke the services of service provider. Invoke the services of service provider. Understanding my statement, guys? Try to understand my statement here, guys. Everyone, publish, develop the service, keep in service registry for availability, for visibility. Okay. Consumer contacts the service registry, gets a WSDL document about the service that is being published, and develops the code based on that WSDL document to communicate with the service provider and to invoke various services of the service provider. Yes or no? Na? To invoke various services of the service provider. Simple thing I tell na. Natras sir, Naresh IT. I developed Spring Boot and microservice course. Kept the course browser in Naresh Technology. Kept the course browser in Naresh Technology. Yes or no, na boss? So here WSDL document is nothing but course browser. WSDL document is nothing but course browser, which I prepared. Service consumer, student, you are the student. Contacts the Naresh Technology, registered for my course, gather the course browser and my Zoom meeting ID. Yes or no, na? Course browser, along with the course browser, they have given my meeting ID, class timings and everything. Okay. After that, you started communicating with me every day to invoke various services that I am offering in the classroom. One time to listen the class, one time to clarify the doubts, one time to collect the notes from Google Classroom, whatever it is. Once you got the detail, you are making yourself ready to communicate with me, to bind with me, to avail various services that I am offering every day, na boss. I think we got a perfect example, boss. I think you got a perfect example. One more example, boss. Software company have got openings. That information they kept in job portal website. Job seeker contacts the job portal website, gathers the opening related information and keep himself ready in that domain and start applying for the job. He goes to interview, he gets the job, he joins in the company and he will start invoking various services from software company or not. Come on, guys. Software company publish the openings. Job seeker will find the openings and after getting information, job seeker will try to bind with what? Software company towards applying job, joining in the company, doing the job every day. Doing the job every day. Got it, boss? Convinced, boss? Yeah. Service provider develops the provider application and exposes its details to service registry in the form of XML document. Technically, the document is called WSDL document, SNONA, WSDL document, which is XML, Web Service Description Language document. The service consumer contacts the service registry and gets the details about provider or service in the form of WSDL document. Accept advice. Super, guys. The service consumer prepares stub code, Are this code about to consume. Service consumer prepares stub code to consume services of provider, using request response model. This is called bind operation. Our skeleton code is nothing but our logics. Okay, stub code means he will write integration layer logic to communicate with services of provider and to get the services from the provider. Right, guys? Advantages of SOA, service-oriented architecture advantages. Shall we see, guys? Interoperability. We can develop provider and consumer application either in same technology or in different technologies. Yes or no, no. Yes or no, no. Right. Easy maintenance, boss. Easy maintenance. Any change in provider application, we just need to update the service registry. Need not to inform to all the consumers because service consumer can collect the changes from service registry. Yes, na boss. Yes, na boss. Okay, now listen. Any change in my course curriculum, any change in batch timings, any change in my syllabus, fee details, any other detail. Do I need to inform to all the students who are looking to take course from me? No. If I can inform to Naresh IT, that is sufficient, na boss. Anyhow, when you contact the Naresh IT will update that information to you. Arey, respond, Ra Babu. Please respond. Am I dropping my energy towards teaching the subject? Why are you not so active? Enjoying morning coldness? Okay. Software company, there is a change in number of openings, boss. There is a change in pay package details. There is a change in skill set. Do they need to inform to every job seeker separately? Who is job seeker? How software company knows Ra Babu? They don't know, right? They just inform to Naukari people. That means by contacting Naukari, they edit the details and every job seeker will get the information about it or not. Will get the information about it or not. What do you say, boss? Will definitely get information about it. Will solidly get information about it. What do you say, boss? Yes or no, no. Yeah. Sir, so many people are saying, sir, why should I do this much hard work towards learning all this thing? Right now, openings are not there. Are December, January, openings are definitely less. This year till March, April, market is bit slow, especially for fresher 1+, 2+. But if you are having more than 2, 3 years, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years experience, okay, you are having still market is there. Till today, market is there. Only for entry level people, bit dry market. Up to what time? March, April. But if you use this time to get ready for the job, so when market open, you will get the initial benefit. When market is open, you will get the immediate benefit. Now that time if you realize now market is open, let's prepare. Again, another 3, 4 months it takes. I hope you are understanding. So that's why for learning, there is no end, boss. More you learn, more you get. So learning is a continuous process. So don't stop your learning process because of the small up and downs in the market. And everywhere up and downs will be there, boss. Yeah, this is not recession. This problem has come because of what? Inflation that is happening. Inflation that is happening. Why I will tell. Because of Corona, lot of countries have shifted to digital economy. Lot of countries have shifted to digital economy, right? Earlier, they used to do lot of cash transactions. So now lots of services are happening in digital economy. So the scope of showing wrong accounts is gone. The scope of showing wrong accounts is gone, almost gone. So the real economy coming into picture. And there are so many countries, they released more currency than what they deserve. They released more currencies to public than what that country deserves. What that country deserves, right? Like Venezuela, Pakistan. Like Venezuela, Pakistan. Understanding? So that's why inflation has come, right? No inflation issue. It is not any financial problem. It's not at all financial problem. Understanding? Okay, listen. Okay, few people are confirming. Check it out. I am 8 years experience daily. I am getting call. Everyone look at. I am 4+ years experience daily. I am getting call. Daily I am getting call. So if you are in a wrong feeling, I'm not getting call. That is only for entry level people, not for other people. So don't be in the psychological feeling. Now market is not ready. I will not be active. I will not study anything. That's your karma if you think like this. That's really your karma if you think like this. Got it? Right. Arey, when you heard about any layoff, guys, listen. When you heard about layoff, first to start introspecting how many layoffs are happened, 100. In that one, how many technical background, how many of their managerial background. Technical background layoffs are very less. Managerial background layoffs are more and more. Clear, guys? Please don't go by count. Facebook layoff 2,000 employees. But in that 2,000 employees, how many of you belongs to IT department? In that IT department, how many of them doing coding work? Please. Understanding my statement. Why Microsoft is laying off? First of all, tell me Microsoft is doing well in the market. Huh? Tell me what is doing well. Which product of Microsoft is really doing well? Tell me. Fine. So don't Microsoft era gone, ra babu. Maybe right now little bit of Azure is doing well, Windows is doing well, right? And Azure is also not so great. After AWS only people are using, right, boss? Fine. Quality code is guaranteed. Since we can develop provider application in our choice technology, so we can give quality provider application. So we can give quality provider application. Is it not interesting, boss? Okay. Is it not interesting, boss? Provider application in our choice technology, we can give quality provider application because we can develop in our choice environment. Provider application is ultimate, boss. That only main one. If provider application is good, consumer will consume the services in a good manner, right? So since we have a freedom to develop provider application in our choice domain, so definitely it is going to good. Scalability. We can add more parallel servers or instances for provider application as service consumers and and their number of requests are increasing. Listen, for provide for a provider application by creating more instances, there is a possibility of increasing consumer and increasing number of requests, boss. We can add more parallel servers and instances for provider application. Okay, provider application. 1 minute. Provider application. For giving better service to consumers and their request. Their request. For giving better service to consumers and request. Service to more consumers and request. Super, guys. Next, reliability. Since SOE mechanism is involving service registry, we can maintain our distributed application in reliable or stable state. Reliable or stable state. Reliable or stable state. And reliability means what, guys? Trustworthy, na boss. Reliable. Google is a reliable website. Gmail is a reliable mailing application. There's a guarantee anytime it works, right? There's a guarantee anytime it works. 1 day working, 10 days not working. Is it going to work out, boss? Reliability is most important or not? Yeah. How come reliability? Though 1, 2 mistakes are there in provider application, since provider application is not directly consumed by consumers, it is coming through service registry. Okay, this provider fellow is having always choice to improve this application and to keep his updated details in service registry or not. To keep the updated details in service registry or not. Come on. To keep the updated details in service registry. Super. Disadvantages, boss. Disadvantages. Shall we start understanding disadvantages, boss? High cost. It needs lots of manpower and technology infrastructure support for developing SOA applications. One service registry is required, a lot of manpower is required, high cost. Next, XML utilization. I didn't like. Supports only XML based data exchange, which is fading out day to day. SOAP based support JSON content. SOAP support JSON global format of data exchange. No, SOAP based web services still support XML. XML is fading out day to day or not? Tell me next one. High bandwidth of internet is required. High bandwidth of internet. Service registry service provider will be placed in different location. So we definitely need good bandwidth of internet connections. Yes, boss. Do you think all of them will be there in same location? No, they will be there in different location. So that's why good amount of internet is required or not required. Super, guys. To overcome all these problems, prefer using microservice architecture. Microservice architecture. Microservice architecture. At the end, we got some reason to work with microservice architecture, boss. I think so far so good. So far so good, my dear. Come on. Convinced, my dear. Convinced, my dear. Lot of time is required to get into microservice, to work with microservice. Now you have a reason to learn microservices. Problem with MVC and monolithic architecture we have seen. Problems with SOA architecture we have not experienced, but we have visualized, right? We have analyzed. So now we have a reason to come and work with microservice architecture or not. So tomorrow onwards, we are going to spend the time on what is library in Spring Boot. Library means jar file na boss. Johan. Library means jar file. So jar files in Spring Boot are starters. You can say starters are libraries. You can say starters are libraries. If I understood your question in the right direction. Super. Thank you, boss. Different microservices will be kept in same location or different location. Yeah, mostly it will be kept in same location if they belongs to same organization. But you are trying to use other company services. So they will give only service, they don't give code to you. So that time what happened? The other company service will be there in other location. Understanding my statement, guys? Okay. Akash Jaishwal, in most of the web application, distributed application, multi-threading will be used internally. We don't use multi-threading explicitly. Yes or no? No. We don't keep multi-threading directly. In web servers and application server, multi-threading concepts will be used internally. Servlet is a single instance, multiple threads component. I hope you remember that word.